once again at the Cummer Museum of Art and Gardens, my hometown art museum in Jacksonville, Florida. Here we have a classic example of a movement known as regionalism. Regionalism was an American artistic movement of the mid-20th century. Thomas Hart Benton is the painter of this picture, which is called June Morning. Now, before I really got into art, before I developed my passion for it, began teaching myself about art, paintings to me were just pictures on a wall. When I was about 30 years old, I went to the Metropolitan Museum of Art with a couple of friends of mine who were big art lovers, and I was just walking around looking at pictures because I didn't understand what they were trying to tell me, and I didn't understand that a lot of times they were stories. This is a storytelling picture. So let's see if we can put it all together. June Morning. This picture was painted in 1945. Thomas Hart Benton, American Regionalism. The story being told here has to do with the events just preceding it, 1945, World War II, right? This picture is showing us that the dark storm clouds of war are drifting off. The sun is coming up, the sky is clearing. America is getting back to work, back to its regular work. This farmer is no longer in the South Pacific or in Europe fighting the Nazis and the Imperial Japanese. He's milking this cow. This picture, the scene for it, is Thomas Hart Benton's mother-in-law's home on Martha's Vineyard. That's the Atlantic Ocean in the distance there. And this picture is showing time moving. The clouds of war are leaving us. Sunlight, normalcy is returning. We're getting back to work in this verdant, fruitful, lush America, which is so rich in biodiversity, plant life, agriculture, trees, natural resources. The regionalists were focused on America's heartland. They were focused on America's middle class, working class. Thomas Hart Benton is from Missouri. As someone who was born and raised in Wisconsin, this has a popular appeal to me because it is a landscape scene, it is a pastoral scene, it is a farm scene, and that's what the regionalists wanted to show. The most famous regionalist painting, everyone has seen an image of it. It is Grant Wood's American Gothic, where you've got the man and his daughter and the pitchfork, a great painting from the Art Institute of Chicago. That's American regionalism. Farmers, working class people, Midwestern people, agriculture, America as a breadbasket, the breadbasket of the world. And we see that demonstrated clearly with this farmer milking his cows there. It's earthy, it's back to the land, it's glorifying the land, and it's in stark contrast to the other major American art movement at this time, the art movement that would change the world, that would come to really dominate, I think you could say, 20th century art, modern art, and that is abstract expressionism. This obviously looks nothing like William de Kooning or Lee Krasner or Jackson Pollock, even though Thomas Hart Benton was Jackson Pollock's teacher at the Art Students League in New York. But they obviously went very different directions with their art practice. Thomas Hart Benton keeping with this more realistic style, the regionalism, glorifying heartland America, American values, whereas Jackson Pollock would veer way off with the drip paintings and the huge scale abstractions that really caught everyone off guard and were completely fresh. But this is one of those paintings that does tell a story, and when you understand the story, the painting becomes so much more relatable. It comes alive. You understand the time and the place and what it's trying to communicate. Now, a painting like this, because of its gorgeous colors and because of these swooping, swirling lines that are so representative of Thomas Hart Benton's best work, you can appreciate this just for its color and size and the flowers and this great thistle down there, which I love. But when you know and you stop and dissect what the painting is trying to tell you, what that story is, it takes on a completely different dimension. And this is a great example of a painting where once you know that story it's trying to tell, oh, all of a sudden you don't have to have an MFA degree and talk about paint handling and atmospheric perspective to appreciate it. You can appreciate it simply for its storytelling. So the next time you're looking at a painting and you're struggling with it, what year was it painted? What was going on? Were there wars? Was it depression? What was taking place socially at that time? That can help you read the painting, so to speak, so you can understand what's taking place. Who was the artist? What style did he work in? What is the title? And you can try and solve the mystery of what great paintings like this are trying to tell you.